Can I snag this one?
That'll give me more to fun.
Yeah.
Thank
More to
you.
spend money on.
Give you the little shout. If you want to put that aside, I'll grab some others.
Yeah, no problem. Morning. How are you today?
Super awesome, super awesome.
Hello, everybody. This is a Lamley Showcase. I've been home from the Matchbox Gathering a Friends Convention for a little over a week. I've had some time to process a lot of the video footage I shot. We've already done all of the sneak peeks for 2025 from Matchbox. We've showcased all those. You should definitely check those out if you haven't. So that was looking to the future. Now we're going to go and look to the past. I've got my Matchbox 8-dot car collection. If you remember, a few months ago, I did a video on these. I started a very small collection of 8-dot wheels. These are cars from, say, the 90s, late 80s, early to mid 90s that Matchbox did. Most of the realistic cars got these 8-dot wheels that I'm actually kind of fond of. They're nostalgic, of course. They don't look as realistic as wheels do today, but I'm using them as like a reference to cross-section, a cool collection from these Matchbox cars from that era. So you got like the BMW 5 Series here. I got 3 of those. Ferraris, of course, the Mercedes. And if you look at these really do, a lot of the cars that I have here and some of the other cars from this era with these 8-dot wheels really parallel a lot of the interests of collectors now. There's been a return to the 90s, even the 80s. There's a lot of interest in these cars. And so I have found this with this parallel that this has been a fun collection to go back and collect or to build. And so I had one goal. Outside of doing sneak peek videos at the Matchbox Gathering, I was hoping to go room to room and find more 8-dot cars to add to this already existing collection. And I was successful. In fact, so much so that as I was going through video footage, I realized that I've got so much of it that I'm going to divide these showcases into 3. So this is part 1 of 3. And this one will be just footage of some of my finds. Not all of my finds, but some of my finds done vlog style at the first part of this video. And then the next part of the video of part 1 will be the beginnings of my chat with Jason Meeker. He is a Matchbox collector from Arizona who I've known for a very long time, has a ton of knowledge, and has a lot of interest in this era of cars. And so I visited him at his room and we chatted, and it was fantastic. He showed some of his favorites. You'll see part of that video today. More will be in part 2. And then part 3 will be me showcasing all of the finds that I had. We'll give him the full showcase, including this pre-production model that I got from Paul Carr. This is a white Ferrari F40 that was never produced. I'll talk about that in part 3, along with the plethora of 8-dots that I found. Will be opening up some. It should be pretty fun. So 3 parts. Let's start with part 1. Enjoy this. These were really fun to do, and a chance for me. I don't get to nerd out like this, and I did. So enjoy. I'm going to put a couple of these aside.
Yes, sir. seen this around? More than likely would have sold. Marco cleaned me out.
Who is this guy, Mark? I need to talk to him.
He ran Village Zycast. He sells LMB. He's got his own website as well.
Oh, Bill, I know him.
Yeah.
Early
Oh, really?
Macau, and then I thought they're going to be valuable, but you know, unfortunately, they didn't become so valuable.
I think people are starting to get interested in these. I am.
Yeah.
What?
I know people like it, so it's like, and for now too, it's like.
Okay, I want that one.
No, white. I wanted the blue, but she sent me a link, and it was so I just
Definitely want this one. $5 each, you said?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay.
Matching ones.
And you said, what was the store again?
Uncle Don, they called him Uncle Don. He was in Palm Springs.
Yeah.
I bought his collection, like 5,000 pieces. Everybody
And he had a
knows.
store?
Pardon me? Yeah,
He had
he
a
had
store?
a store. And then he's the one who got some Okay, I'll make it very slow. There are a lot of actors and actresses live in Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Steve McQueen used to go to his shop.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the guy in Lesney would trade what you call the pre-production models with the signatures and things from the actors and all that.
Yeah.
And he was a very
Really?
nice guy. Jim knows about him. If
Really?
you go talk to him, and interesting story.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
I love that kind of history. Well, I think I'm going to grab Dodge Daytona, Toyota MR2 pace car, Ford RS200, and the Mercedes-Benz 300E.
Wonderful. That would be $20.
Awesome. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
line.
Is this regular or is it a lighter blue seat?
That's like a light blue.
It's hard to tell when they're not next to
No,
each other.
you'd know when you see it. If it was a light blue, it'd be like 250.
Well, that's what I figured, but
And I think I'm the only one that ever had them.
really?
Yeah.
I wish I was able to get one, but
All right, so working on the 8-dot collection, I've been able to find a few good things, including this fantastic pre-production from Paul Carr, and super stoked about that. Adding that to the F40 collection, just getting this cool cross section. So I'm building my collection of these 8-dot wheels, but what I definitely lack, besides a ton of the 8-dot models, and I can't get them all, but is 8-dot knowledge. So the other big key to this visit to Albuquerque for the Matchbox show, outside of finding cars, was actually borrowing a little expertise. And so that is why this guy is here. Sitting in his room, this is Jason Meeker, Toyrific
Toyrific.
on Instagram.
Yes. Yes.
Long-time Matchbox collector.
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, I'll show you some shots of his room. He's brought a bunch of stuff from eras that I'm not nearly as familiar with. I mean, growing up, I've obviously talked about the nostalgia. And Jason, by the way, thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Well, good. I hope it's your pleasure.
Yes, I'm wearing a good, nice shirt and everything.
You look very, very
Yeah.
handsome.
Oh, thank you.
The Lamley makeup and attire team really did a great job with you. So
Yeah, they did it, but okay.
hey, you're such a diva, but so am I. So it takes one to know one. All right, so let's talk a little bit. I'm showing the room. There's some really cool stuff here. Obviously, I remember these cars from. I am a kid of the 70s, 80s, 90s, and all that came from the 8-dot wheels. Well, Jason, how long you been collecting?
Oh boy, since I was in high school in the mid '80s, we're the same generation. We're still,
Yeah,
we're in the range.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, I digress.
that's okay. If this gets boring, I could just cut it out.
I already know which is going to get.
But I love chatting. So here's the deal. Jason, you came here, you're from Arizona, you've collected forever, and you've become quite knowledgeable in a lot of different eras. But one of the reasons I wanted people to know, and it's in the description of the video, your Instagram account, is that you stay really focused on these eras and these cars from 70s, 80s, 90s, right?
Yes.
And what I love about your account, and I invite everyone to follow you, is that you'll not only show pictures of these cars in depth, but also packaging, and also, you know, the boxes from that Matchbox era. And also you'll give as much history as you can about these models as well. And so I was like, Jason, what if you just grabbed a few of your favorites, maybe some rarities of the 8-dot cars, and brought them with you?
And I did exactly that.
Sweet. So
it was fun trying to choose some. I left some behind. So I thought it's 8-dot, so I chose 8 models.
well,
So,
how appropriate
Yes,
is that?
I thought, Jason, you're being really clever here. 8 dots, and I thought, well, let's make sure if we type that out, it doesn't look like 88 dots. But it's
We'll
no,
get
that
there.
One,
We'll figure
can
it
edit
out.
That one out.
We
So,
got
yes,
we got smart viewers. They'll
so,
figure it out.
Yeah, so I brought 8.
Okay. So my first question, 8 dots, and we talked about this yesterday, 80, 82, 83, something like that?
Yes, well, we were talking with
Good old Tilly.
Yes, Mr. David Tilley,
Yeah.
and we both agreed. Well, the three of us that they were probably in development. The 8-dot was in development, and possibly in '82.
Got it.
Because the first model it showed up on was introduced the number 55 or number 15, also Ford Sierra XR4i in white, had the 8 dots, and that
In
was
83.
83. Yeah, so Lesney went bankrupt in '82, and then they were still being made in England, and that Ford Sierra was made in England in
Got
white
it.
with those 8 dots in '83.
Awesome.
And so we're
And then we figured they ran their course. I mean, through the late 80s, they were really popular. They essentially replaced, what do you call there was the dot dash
dot
wheel.
dash and 5 arches were
And
also
the 5
you know,
arches.
to replace some
And
of those.
I've kind of like described those were kind of the fat wheels. They were super wide.
Yeah. Yeah,
Not as
did different,
concave.
they did different widths. There were some narrow ones and wide ones, but yeah, I think they were trying to give it a more sportier look, is my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, to fit some of the more, like the Universal era cars, which were, you know, they were no longer anything really flashy.
Right.
No blown engines or anything.
They were really establishing what we think of Matchbox now as like realistic
everything-
street models you see on
what
the
the
road.
kids will see on the roads,
Yeah.
what their mom or dad might
Yeah.
be driving. So I think those 8 dots were kind of maybe making them look more universal in a way, just like the company name.
Understood.
To fit
Yeah.
a lot of different models.
And then, but the 8 dots, you know, I understand there's a very much a nostalgic quality to these. They're not nearly as detailed as wheels today. And I understand that maybe you and I from this era might have a little bit more. They might have more appeal to us than, you know, as ones who grew up in that time, than maybe people today. But for me, I remember I liked the concave nature of the rims, and they felt more realistic to me as a kid.
Yes,
And that's one of the reasons I liked them. So like the Porsche 959 would have the old wheels on it, but then a couple, I think it was European, came out with the 8 dot wheels, and that's why I wanted that one instead of
Yeah, it looked really nice
of
with
the
the 8
others.
dot then. Yes.
It does look good, yeah, and I've got that in the
I
collection.
didn't bring
so-
one of those.
Well, I have mine, and I can show it.
Oh well.
So
okay.
yeah. And that's the magic is. But let's get to yours. And I think you've got some of the 8 dots. You've got
Yes.
some favorites and some rarities.
Yes. Which would you like to see first? Because it is very exciting.
You grab and we'll go.
Am I supposed to look at you or the camera?
Doesn't matter. You can look at
Because I'm like doing this.
It doesn't matter.
But it's like those videos
Look
where
at me.
it's like those, like, you know, soap operas where someone's like up close but they're looking at both eyes.
Yeah.
You know. But I'm like looking diagonally, so people are probably thinking, well, maybe
Look at
he's
me
like
because they know you're looking at me. Because they know you're talking to me.
Okay, I'll look at
So.
you. Okay. All right. So,
Okay.
should I do this in chronological order, like the year they came out? Like, what was maybe the first?
I
or-
don't care at all. You just do the one you want.
Okay.